What is like an average day of eating or like food groups that you really enjoy that you're able to stay consistent to and have ultimately worked for you?
So, how much I eat in a day, or I guess the frequency I eat in a day, is going to depend on my activity levels, and that's usually going to be related to lifting. So, today wasn't a lifting day, for example. So, before I came here, all I've had today was a black coffee in which I put some coconut oil, which I don't always do, but I had some tasks I wanted to focus on and make sure the hunger stayed at bay. Put in an electrolyte supplement. And then I had a pound of steak with some avocado, and that's all I've had. I'll have one more meal today. So it's a non-lift day, so I'm going to have 2 meals. Now, if it were a lifting day, I lift early in the morning. So, I wake up around 4:40, maybe 5:15 if I got to bed a little too late, go in and lift while it's still dark. And
Hmm.
so I don't think it's usually the best practice to wait to have my first meal to the afternoon. My body wants its nutrients. Um, so on a lifting day, I'll have 3 meals, maybe a little bit more, calorie wise, given I've had more meals. And then, there may be some days where I'm getting like 20, 30,000 plus steps and think, you know what, let me eat some of these extra calories here
Yeah.
because it's not going to have a negative impact on me.
Mm.
As far as food groups, I mean, anyone that follows me on social media already knows steak and eggs, very animal-based diet. I like salmon, I like pork, chicken every now and then, some turkey here and there. But a lot of people do assume I'm carnivore. I would say I'm very close because I eat primarily animal-based foods, but I do like things like avocado. People might crucify me for this one. Some broccoli, some
Mhm.
cauliflower every now and
Yeah.
then, spinach. Think like green leafy vegetables. But yeah, that's basically the base of what I eat.
Yeah. So it sounds like you have this kind of template that's worked really well for you. On training days, you'll have 3 meals. When you're not training, you'll have 2 meals. You're getting a bunch of steps in. It's not like you're really fitting your diet into this very rigid box. And I've gotten crucified for that too, where like my story, like my carnivore healing story with my stomach, that helped. And I think that helped get us some attention. But now I'm at a point where my gut health is really good. I have a permeable gut. So like I'll throw in some vegetables, some fruit every once in a while, but I'm like still relatively like within that 100 carb or less threshold every single day. And that seems like that's similar to you and that works.
Yeah, I mean, my carbs I would say are lower a lot of times. Like, I think I've only had like 13.5 grams of carbs today. I have a tracker I've been using. That's why I'm
Yeah.
being so precise, OCD. But I mean, the 100 to 150 gram range is a lot lower than what the standard American is eating.
Hmm.
So even though not keto, it's still a low enough level of carbs to keep people feeling good and not feeling the consequences of eating, a higher carb
Yeah.
diet like a lot of people do. And yeah, that's generally a pretty good sweet spot. And when I consult people on nutrition who aren't looking to do keto, they're generally within that range, and it's done wonders for them.
Yeah. Do you still track a lot of your meals in the MyFitnessPal?
So I've been using this app Chronometer now
Okay.
because it links to different databases. I'm not sure if MyFitnessPal has made updates, but I just kind of got embedded into
Mm.
Chronometer, I guess. So I like them both. I had not tracked, I want to say around 8 or 9 months until this week, actually, just coincidentally.
Mm.
But it's something that I do like to use when I'm trying to lean out. But I'll even go, months at a time where I have no particular goal. I mean, I guess I'll call it maintenance, or I'm not really trying to lose or gain fat, but just, gain muscle and not overdo the calories too much. And I like to see the data, which provides me insight into what I can and can't do, and how it relates to different lifts and energy levels and whatnot.
Mm.
But yeah, I've done a lot of tracking over the years. I think my record was doing like over 500 straight days, and it's really helped me to learn about myself.
Wow. So 500 days straight. That's incredible.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend anyone go that crazy on
Yeah.
it. It's just, I don't know, I got a little OCD with it.
Yeah. And I'm sure you're probably at a point now where like you can look at a plate of food and like roughly estimate pretty accurately like the amount of calories and the macronutrients and things like that too. But it takes time to get to that level of intuitiveness.
Yeah, it does. It does take a lot of time, and I mean, even with all the experience I have, if I'm trying to get to sub 10% body fat, I'm going to track because knowing those exact numbers gets important. because yeah, I can lose a ton of fat without tracking a single calorie, but I want to ensure that I'm getting as much protein as I need without going over on calories as well. And so the best thing to do is just to throw it on into a tracker.
Yeah. So if you're trying to go for a goal of like say sub 10% or 9%, is there a specific caloric deficit that you're looking to hit every single day?
So I would say I'm probably going 500 plus. You know, I try not to go like too extreme if I'm doing things long term.
Mm.
But I mean, it really depends on what level of body fat I'm at, how I've been eating. There's been times where I've made it like a 250, 300 calorie deficit. There's been times like last summer, I decided I don't feel like doing this long cut. So I'm going to go, really fast and really hard. And to preface it, I'm not recommending anybody do this because if you don't have any, experience, and even if you do, you could be setting yourself up for something catastrophic. But I did a 7-day fast followed by 5 straight days of PSMF, protein sparing modified fast. And I lost like, I don't know, 12, 13, maybe 14 pounds. And I was already keto.
Yeah.
So I know I didn't lose that much water weight when I did that. And the weight stayed off for months. So I know I had, burned off a lot of fat doing that. And so the caloric deficit there was, fasting for 7 days. It's in the thousands, but that's not something typical of what I do. But just to like, give some insight into some of the extremes that I've done. And, it's fun to experiment as well, the more experience you get.
It really is.